as they moved through the school building.
Who those people are. The big question, obviously, are they the suspects or were they just people who came out of the school? In a situation like this, and I think you can see behind me, we have ambulances, we have sheriff's deputies, we have various jurisdictions here. It is sort of a controlled chaos, and one of the things they try to do is just anyone who moves inside the police lines who's not supposed to be there, they are going to lay out on the ground, they're going to put in handcuffs until they can figure out exactly who those people are, and I think that's what's going on right now. Again, you can see multiple jurisdictions here, multiple ambulances, several reports of injuries, and again, I think probably the worst news right now, they are continuing to find other injured people inside. The public information officer for the Sheriff's Department also told us that there are numerous students, he said he couldn't even say if it was dozens more or fewer, who are still inside the school. They don't know for sure if those people are hostages or if they are just hiding or what, although we did have some word previously that there were some people indeed who were being held hostage. Obviously a developing situation, and we'll just be keeping you posted with the latest.
All right, Julie Hayden, live for us at the scene right now. Thank you for that update. Unfortunately, what we're hearing at this point now is that there are a far greater number of students and people who were inside Columbine High School who have been injured, and medical care is just now getting to some of those victims.
We have Pat Woodard now on the phone. And Pat, are you actually where the parents are? That's right?
That's right, Gina. We're at Leawood Elementary School, which is a few blocks away from the Columbine High School, and this is where parents and students have been told to come and hook up, reunite with each other. Basically what happens is the students come over here, they go inside, put their name on a list, and their parents come in and they can see that their child's name is on that list and is here waiting for them to be picked up. Obviously, you can imagine a lot of anguish for parents who have come here and have not seen their child's name on the list. For whatever reason, the student has not come to check in. So these parents are just kind of waiting around to see what's going to happen. A number of parents have complained that they're not getting much information. If they don't see a child's name on a list, they don't know where they are, and they can't find out where they are. So there's really nothing that they can do except to wait and see if the child does show up at this location later on. There are probably at least 200 to 300 parents and students who are here at the school right now. When they do get together, obviously the reunions are very sweet. A lot of, but for many people, it's just a waiting game, finding out whether their child might have been one of the people who was injured in this attack at Columbine High School.
Pat, this is Sean McLaughlin now, slipping in the seat that Wayne has been occupying very well for the last couple of hours. Your sense of things since you have been there, is it calming down at all, or is this continuing to spiral?
It really depends. There are people who are just now arriving, and it's people who are just arriving who seem to be in the greatest state of anxiety. People who have been here for a while have kind of put themselves into just kind of a wait-and-see mode. They know that there's really not much they can do. One of the things that we see is cell phones everywhere. People are on the phones constantly trying to contact relatives, contact friends, trying to find any way they can to get find out whether their child is okay. And so that's one of the things going on here now. It's not really where people are wringing their hands very much, but the people who are just arriving, the parents who are just showing up, obviously are very hopeful that they can find their child here. They're in more of a state of anxiety than some of the others.
All right, Pat Woodard, thank you very much. We'll, of course, be going back to Pat and Julian and the rest of our 7 News team out there in the field following this. This has been happening since 11:30 this morning, and we have crews all over the place surrounding that high school. And right there, that was a shot of Air Tracker 7, which is also there. Good evening, everybody, or good afternoon. My name is Sean McLaughlin, and for Wayne Herman.
That's right, and I'm Bertha Lynn, and we have been watching Wayne and Gina do a wonderful job covering this incredible event that's unfolding at Columbine High School this morning. I've been off for several days. What an incredible day to return to newscasting duties. What we call this is spot news, breaking news, and it has been happening, as you said, Sean, since 11:30 this morning. Some gunmen walked into Columbine High School and opened fire on students as they were in the cafeteria and library, we are understanding, and now the search is on for the suspects and any other injured students that still may be in that building. We just don't know.
Standing by live out at the scene right now is 7 News reporter John Ferrugia on the phone. John, what can you tell us from your vantage point?
I don't hear John. We may have
John,
lost him. We have been hearing from John through the morning as he's been on the scene and has been reporting to us about the different goings-on. There may be more than 100 officers on the scene right now. There were that many earlier. There are ambulances ringing the building. John told us that there were law officers in Air Tracker 7 earlier today, just to survey the scene and to see if there were any suspects, perhaps on the roof, to take shots. And there's one of those law officers right now. It would be wonderful to get insight as to what he's thinking. I'm not sure that we will, though, Sean, because we don't want to tip off any of the suspects who may still be watching.
Exactly. There are some victims that have been transported to surrounding hospitals. 7 News reporter Lance Hernandez is on the phone with us, and he is standing by at St. Anthony's. Lance, what can you tell us from your perspective?
Well, I'm on the helipad here at St. Anthony's, and an Air Life chopper has just landed, we are told, with a patient that is being transferred over from Littleton Hospital. Evidently one of the student victims from the high school that was first taken to Littleton Hospital, treated there preliminarily, and then transferred over here to St. Anthony's. They're in the process of unloading him from that chopper right now. That brings to 3 the total number of students that are being treated at this hospital. Now, this one here appears to be a male victim. He appears to be conscious as they are unloading him from the chopper. I saw him lifting his head up briefly to watch paramedics who are unloading him from the hospital. They are wheeling him now toward the emergency exits. Can't tell for sure where his wounds are, but this one here, again, is a patient who appears to be in conscious condition. They're rolling him toward the emergency doors now. And I do see some wounds on his leg. Apparently, this one here was shot in the knee area. His right knee is bandaged up, but there were some obvious wounds there. He is, as I mentioned, conscious as he's being wheeled into the hospital. Earlier, about an hour and a half ago, they brought in 2 other victims by ambulance, 1 male and 1 female. At last report, they were reported to be in critical condition. No other information on the extent of their wounds or where they were wounded. So again, over here at St. Anthony Central, they now have 3 victims that are being treated. Back to you.
Lance, are you hearing from any hospital officials out there how many total victims there may be? We are, of course, getting varying accounts, 7 to 8, with different types of wounds and different conditions. Are hospital officials saying what they are hearing through the grapevine, perhaps from other hospitals?
No, hospital officials aren't mentioning, but other news media here at the scene are saying anywhere from 8 to possibly 12.
Are you seeing any parents showing up at this point?
Well, I have to tell you, we've been up on the helipad for the last 20 minutes waiting for this one here. So I haven't been at the emergency room exit, to catch any family members or parents that may be arriving. But there obviously are three victims here, so there should be 3 families en route, if not already here.
Lance, you've been on journalistic duties for years. You've seen plenty of helicopters arrive with injured patients. Anything different about this situation, since it is a high school or because of the circumstances? What is your sense of this?
Well, you see stories like this happen on television, and you hear this from people that experience crime or some kind of tragedy in their own way, but you've never seen, a shooting like this happening. I've never seen a shooting happen like this at a school in Denver or any city that I've worked at. This one here, I can just say my first thought was heartening to see them open the chopper door and start wheeling him out of the chopper, and to see him lift up his head, because then I knew, he's not in that sad shape.
And Lance, as you describe that scene, we're watching live video from Columbine High School, students getting cover from emergency vehicles to make a run for it and get over to a parking lot where they're being greeted by law officers, some of them putting their hands up. So we don't know quite how to interpret this. I guess they're being patted down just to make sure that they're okay, that they're safe to go near.
I think at this point they're still trying to account for all the students in the high school, because when this happened at about 11:30, students started scattering everywhere along with the gunshots, and they were looking for a couple of suspects at this point, but right now they have to assume that anybody they come across might be the suspect. Now, there are reports that the suspects were possibly wearing long black trench coats. Those could have easily been discarded. So right now, I think police are just being very careful, making sure that the people they are coming in contact with are the possible victims and not the suspects at the scene.
Just to narrate what we are watching right now, Sean, those kids apparently have been cleared, and they all piled into this SUV, and they're going to be driven off this premises by the police officers, hopefully to be reunited with their parents. And Lance, are you still on the line with us? Okay, Lance is gone. He mentioned that he just could not believe that something like this could be happening in our area. Sean, it's so reminiscent of, remember in 1997 when we started seeing a series of shootings at schools? We'll talk about that in just a second. But let's go now to John Ferrugia, who's standing by on the telephone as that car whips out of there. And, John, you have a witness, don't you?
Yeah, Bertha, with me is Karen Nielsen, who was in the cafeteria at the time this shooting started. I'm going to put her on the line in just a moment.